Hey guys, welcome back to Pinehaven Acres. Today we are table breeding some silver fox. I wanted to share with you how I went about creating this pairing and why I chose the buck that I did for this doe. I do have a whole video on this as well. I'll leave a link to that in the description. So today we are working with a chocolate silver fox doe. She doesn't have an ideal body conformation and fur texture that I would like, but I am still willing to work with her, and I'm not intimidated by this, and I'll explain why in a second. So what we're looking at is, I can't pose her up because I have one hand, but essentially with her, she has weak shoulders, and without her being posed, it's kind of hard to tell, but and also check out my other videos talking about body conformation, because that'll help you out a whole lot if you are new to this. But her shoulders right here are a lot more narrow when it comes to comparing it to the rest of her body when she sits up nice. They also, from the side view, dip down, so she might also have long shoulders. Her coat is very heavily silvered, and it has a rollback texture, which is not what the Silver Fox Breed Standard calls for. So it doesn't stand super well. You see how it kind of rolls back into place? It's slow, so it's not a flyback coat, but it's not quite the right texture. This guy, on the other hand, has nice long coat, and it stands up very nicely. I have to brush it back down for it to lay how it normally would, whereas hers slowly goes back into place. He's also very lightly silvered, so that will pair nicely with our very heavily silvered doe. He's got a nice big head and ear. Hers are more snipey and narrow. He also has very nice shoulders. He has more of a compact body type than she does. She's pretty long in her body, as you can see. He's also got a lot more width and just nice conformation all around. So that was a successful fall off. And I'm table breeding them today because our other open cages are full of weaned litters that are going to be sold in the next week, so we'll have plenty of space for when this upcoming litter is ready to go. And his cage just isn't quite right for breeding. I have a 2x4 bracing on the floor that kind of cuts it in half, and it's not good for two rabbits that are trying to breed. They need a bit more floor space than that. So I have them on the table. It also allows me to control them a bit better. She has never been bred before, but she's doing a pretty good job. And we're going to have to clean up that mess. Like I mentioned, I do have a video where I explain more in depth about what I look for when I am creating a breeding pair. And I also have a video on body conformation for these commercial breeds, so go ahead and check that out. It'll be in the description. So they have already had about 6 fall offs, so I'm gonna separate them, put them back in their cages, and then we are going to give you guys an update in 3 to 4 months when the litters are weaned and growing out, when they're between 8 and 12 weeks old. So essentially with this pairing, I am looking at body type first. She's got a longer body type with problem shoulders. He's got a shorter, deeper body type with good shoulders. She has very heavily silvered coat that is a rollback texture. He's got a lightly silvered coat with nice, long, dense texture. And that's pretty much it. He also carries chocolate, I believe. I'll have to double check that. But either way, we should end up with some pretty nice babies. Again, with the chocolates, if you're not familiar with this variety, when they first became recognized, there were a lot of lines that had this rollback texture for the chocolates, which you cannot show that because it's not what the breed standard calls for this breed. They need standing coat, which is very long and lush like this one is. So there was a lot of crossbreeding that had to be done to black silver fox that had better coat texture so that we could improve our chocolate coat texture. So that has been my project the past couple of years, is just trying to work with the chocolates that I had with poor coat texture. She is the last generation that I have with this coat. I have another chocolate dough here whose coat has been improved a lot. So with each generation it gets better. You just can't really show them. That's the only thing, because they won't do well on the table because of their coat texture. So that's why it's not intimidating, because you can just keep them at home, and it takes 1 to 2 generations of crossing the chocolate to a black with nice coat, and you get the good chocolates with good coats. So it's really not that bad. I normally will only breed these chocolates with the poor coats 1 to 2 times. Oh, that's gross. Sorry, buddy. And then I will cull and keep a chocolate dough from her litters that has better coat, and then do the whole process all over again. So that was a bit of a long explanation, but hopefully that makes sense. Sometimes with these new varieties, you kind of have to work on them a bit more intensively than you would other varieties that have been worked on for several years and generations. They don't need as much work. But as always, breed to the standard of perfection by the American Rabbit Breeders Association. Breed responsibly, and have fun with them. So see you guys in the next video.